I'm just gonna come out and say it. I absolutely love music theory. I love everything about it. I know it's kind of a sore spot for a lot of people, especially guitar players. I think a lot of us believe that it's really difficult, or maybe that it doesn't apply to us and what we do with our instrument or the style of music we play. Any reason you can think of. And I'm here to tell you that it's really, really worth learning. You don't have to know everything. Today I'm going to break down what I think are the most important music theory concepts to know as a guitar player. I already said it, and I'm going to say it again and probably multiple times throughout this video. You don't have to learn everything. It's about just learning one new thing at a time. If you can learn one new concept, I don't know, every month, that's 12 new concepts in a year. If you slack off half the time and you learn a new concept every 2 months, that's still 6 new concepts in a year that could profoundly change your guitar playing and your musicality in general. The tips I'm going to be sharing with you today are going to help you learn songs faster, either by ear or however you're learning them. They're going to help you explain your ideas better to your friends. They'll help you with recording in all different ways, and it'll just make the guitar a lot more fun, and I think have the potential to make you a better guitar player. I know they did for me. Okay, so first, a disclaimer. This isn't an in-depth look at any of these things. Today, I'm just going to graze over the surface of the concepts I think are most important. If there's something you guys are more interested in, or maybe there's something you're having difficulty with, drop me a line down below in the comments, or shoot me an email. If you're interested, we could even look at booking a private session, which is one way that you guys can support this channel if you're enjoying the content. The way I see it, there are 3 big categories to learn when it comes to music theory and the guitar. Number 1 is rhythm theory, so that's everything to do with strumming patterns or picking patterns, timing, all of that stuff. Number 2 is harmonic theory, which is literally anything to do with chords or scales, which chords go together, which notes go together, key signatures, those kinds of things. And then third, and specific for guitar or stringed and fretted instruments, is fretboard theory. So once you understand harmonic theory and rhythmic theory, you need to have some sort of understanding of how the guitar fretboard works to actually apply it. That's something where I think a lot of people really struggle, is they don't actually take the time to learn the fretboard. If you think about it, there's no piano player in the world out there who can't point out all the C's on their piano. Or there's no trumpet player out there that can't play you all of the different C's. We tend to get lazy as guitar players because we can, because our instrument's laid out in a way that we can learn one shape, move it anywhere, and not actually have any regard for what we're playing. So I'm going to break down what I think the most important concepts in each of these categories are for you as a guitar player. I want to start with rhythmic theory because this can be useful to any guitar player no matter your current skill level. Let's say you're somebody who already knows their basic chords, can play some different songs, and maybe just needs a little bit of help trying to figure out maybe where the chords change or what you should be strumming. There are things you can figure out with some sort of assistance like Ultimate Guitar or somebody showing you, but if you were to just listen to the song and pull up a chord chart on Ultimate Guitar, maybe you have trouble and can't quite figure out what to strum all by yourself. This is where rhythmic theory comes into play, and even if you have no desire to move past the campfire strummer and you have no desire to learn scales or learn solos or songs by ear or anything like that, I still urge you to understand rhythmic theory because it will help you in almost any situation. I'm going to break it down into 2 parts today. One is to understand the time signature of a song, or essentially just if it's broken down into groups of 3s or 4s, and we won't worry about any of the weird prog rock stuff. And 2 is actually understanding note values or note durations up to something as fast as an 8th note. If you understand these 2 things, you're going to be able to put together a strumming pattern for any song in almost any situation, and you're going to be able to understand where the chord changes actually happen and why. The way I look at it, most songs can be broken down into either groups of 4 or groups of 3 when we're counting. There's all kinds of different time signatures out there, but those are the most common that we're going to encounter in any kind of modern pop music. The 2 time signatures I think we see the most are 4/4 time and 6/8 time. Now 4/4 is pretty self-explanatory. We have 4 beats in a bar, and a quarter note gets 1 beat. 6/8 is the other time signature I mentioned. Something else we might see is 3/4, and the way I see it is we're just counting in groups of 3s instead of groups of 4s. A great way that you can test your knowledge on time signatures or challenge yourself is to just throw on a random playlist, or whenever you're listening to the radio, try and count out the beats and see if things work in groups of 3s or if things work in groups of 4s. Okay, so to prove to you guys this is not rocket science, I've brought my partner Kelly in. And Kelly knows, well, why don't you tell them how much you know about music?
On a scale from like
1 to 10?
0.
Totally 0? I'd say like
1.
2. Just so you guys know, she's at least a solid 2. She's being modest. Okay, so we're going to give you a quick lesson.
Please.
So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to play something, and the first thing you should do when you're trying to figure out what time signature or what kind of grouping a song is in is you want to just start by tapping your foot or your hand. So conveniently, we've got our dog Parker here. Kelly's going to tap on Parker. So I'm not going to tell you what time signature this is in, and I'm just going to play a pattern. And the first thing I want you to do is just tap Parker.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Nice, okay. So next, does that feel like it breaks down evenly into groups of 4 if you count it out loud, or groups of 3?
4.
Totally, can you count it out loud?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, you're close.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
1, 2,
Nice,
3,
all even,
4.
totally.
1,
Okay.
2.
Pass. Okay, here we go, one more. Okay, so you're tapping pretty slow right now. What if you tried to tap that a little bit faster? Yeah, exactly like that. So if I went tap, 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 yeah.
I would think 3.
Okay, and count it out loud. So do the tapping again. Yeah?
1, 2, 3, 1, 2,
100%.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. You could also count it in 6 though.
That makes sense.
Okay, so I'll do the same thing. So 3 plus 3 is 6. So that's, math is good. And that's pretty easy.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to play the same beat. Count it in 6 this time.
Out loud or just tap?
Yeah, out
Okay.
loud. So find the beats
1,
first.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, it feels really even, right?
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
So just try and count it in 4 now. Just to show them how, once you feel that it's in the right time signature, just how weird it is to count it in the other time signature, because nothing really lines up.
Oh, so I should be failing at this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're still going to do the same tapping, the same beat, but I want you to just try and count it in groups of 4 and just see, and then tell me after if it feels really odd or if it feels like it could work.
Okay.
Okay. So same pattern.
1, 2.
So okay, so keep your tapping.
4, 1.
That's cheating.
Okay.
So it did work.
What did I do?
So you got to keep the same. You're always counting 1 at that speed, right? So you'd be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
Okay.
Yeah, because what you did was you went
I
1.
grouped it.
So I went 1, 2, 3, and when I did 3, you did 1. So you were doing 1 to my 3. So you were making, which is actually really indicative of a 6/8 time signature, because 6/8 is 2 groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, where the strong beats are the 1 and the 4, which is kind of what you did. You were at 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, which is really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1.
Okay.
So it's 6 beats.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 groups of 3s, but you could also count it as like a giant 2. 1, 2,
Yes.
1, 2. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, so try the same thing. I want you to go back to this speed. And I want you to try and count it in 4. It's going to be weird.
You play to my tapping.
So try and...
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Yeah, so I can't do it either. So it's bad for everybody, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that's pretty much all you need to know. And that's, so if Kelly can do it that quickly, I think you guys can too. Once you understand how time signatures work, or at least you can differentiate between something that's a group of 3 or that's a group of 4, the next thing you're going to want to do is be able to understand note divisions or note duration. Being able to tell the difference between a quarter note, a half note, a whole note, an eighth note, and a 16th note is really, really helpful, especially when figuring out strumming patterns. Here's a quick diagram that breaks down how these notes go together. So at the very top, we have a whole note, which equals 4 beats if we're in 4/4 time. Half notes are half of that value, so they're 2 beats. 2 of them equal 1 whole note. Underneath that, we have quarter notes. So there's 4 quarter notes in every whole note, or we can fit 4 quarter notes in a bar. Under that, we have eighth notes, which look like quarter notes, but either have a singular tail or a bar connecting 2 notes together. You can fit 2 eighth notes inside 1 quarter note, or you could fit 8 eighth notes inside of a bar or a whole note. For the most part, I think if you know up to eighth notes, you're going to do pretty well for most strumming patterns. So any strumming pattern in 4/4 time can be broken down from straight eighth notes. For today's sake, we're only going as far as that because for most of the things we're going to encounter, that's probably going to do the job. If we start with playing eighth notes and then back it off from there, what we're doing is we're starting by playing the most notes we possibly can and just taking some away to create the strumming pattern. If I take away the first up strum, or the beat on 1 and, it now sounds like this. I can apply the same principle we did to 4/4 time. We're going to add in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. So we're going to be strumming down on the numbered beats, and we're going to be strumming up on the off beats or the ands. It'll sound like this. To come up with a different strumming pattern, I'm just going to take a few beats away. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the up strums on beats 1 and, 3 and, 4 and 6 and. To recap quickly, what I want you to take away from today is breaking down songs into either groups of 3s or 4s and understanding note durations up to something as fast as an eighth note. If you guys have any questions about this video, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'm going to be making more YouTube shorts in the future that are little 1-minute theory tips. A lot of them are inspired by my current students and by questions you guys have. So again, please feel free to leave a comment, and there's a very good chance I'll be able to get to it in a short in the near future. If you feel like you need one of these concepts explained in a little bit more detail, please feel free to reach out to the email below and book a private session if you'd like. It's currently one of the ways you guys can support the channel and help me keep making this content for free. If you'd like to support the channel, but a private session is out of reach for you or not something you're interested in, you're always welcome to leave a tip at the Buy Me a Coffee link below, or even something as simple as liking this video, subscribing to the channel, or sharing it with any of your friends you think might like it would be greatly appreciated. Speaking of support, as always, I just want to take a moment and thank you guys for your time and attention in such a noisy world. I hope you guys were able to take something away from this today, and remember to stay tuned for parts 2 and 3 coming shortly. Until next time guys, get out there and make some music.